Hey, what's up, sacred beings? Welcome back to the channel, Naturally Sacred, where we talk about all things wellness, all things life in order to heal and transform our lives. So today I am coming to you guys with a video that, according to me, to naturally sacred, to what I do, that I feel like is important for me in my own personal journey, especially spirituality, and just learning how the things in our reality that we may see as material or physical um, are, some of these things can be tools to help us throughout our journey, and a lot of these things are tools. We create things from the mind, from the thought, and we bring it into the physical world, and in order for it to benefit us or benefit others in some way. At least that's how some people agendas work. Now, some people may bring things into reality that are not of benefit of others, but of benefit of themselves. But just thinking about, what I'll be talking about today. And again, I think that this brings scope to what this channel is about, not just one area of wellness, physical, emotional, but holistic wellness, which includes spiritual wellness. I'm here today to really talk about divination tools. And, this video, this topic came from really tapping into and beginning to do readings during two moon cycles, which would be the new moon and the half moon. And the half moon especially has been something that I've been intuitively reading, and that I need to kind of share with the collective as I continue to do readings. And as I was sharing this through my other social media platform, someone wanted to know more about it. And I think it's important that before we jump into, divinity tools and start doing things of divination tools, when it comes to me sharing things about spirituality on this channel, that people understand the context and the root of where it's coming from for me. Okay, so this is what sparked the video to get as I continue to unfold and share everything I'm going to be sharing on this channel around healing, around transformation, around wellness. And this has just played a role in, again, my journey and my experiences, which is a lot of what I share on here is my experiences, as well as research and things that I've done. And again, I'm a believer in, you can read something, you can look at someone else's research, someone else's perception of something, but apply it, learn how it applies, see how it works for you. Put in the work, and that's the research. Apply what you're learning about and see what comes from it. I think a lot of times we look too much to others for our answers instead of truly doing the work ourselves or digging within to find the answers, because usually 9 times out of 10 we have them. We just have to be still, be silent, and listen, and know what that authentic voice sounds like within ourselves. Okay, so let's just jump right into this video without further ado, because this is going to be a short one, but straight to the point. So let's get started. All right, so I'm coming to you guys again about divination tools. And the reason why I already shared with you why is because I will be doing readings on the new moon and on the half moon. And the half moon is actually tomorrow. Today the moon's in about 43%, which isn't half. Tomorrow's 53%. So I said, okay, which one's closer to half? And that's when I'll do it, which is, of course, tomorrow. So I wanted to share, again, the context around the readings, tarot reading, but just divination tools in general. Okay, oracle reading, tarot reading, those are just tools of divinity. Now, what does that mean? What is divination tools, divinity tools, sacred tools? What does that really mean? And really all it is techniques that you use, that we use, that spiritual people use in order to connect, right? Because we're already naturally connected, but to deeper connect, to deeper understand, to deeper discover the energy of the current time, of the past time, or the time to come. Okay, so these are tools that we use in order to connect and discover the energy of what is going on right now, what has happened in the past, or what may be to come. Okay, and the way that we interpret these messages is through signs, it's through symbols, it's through omens. Okay, so we're utilizing a tool such as reading, right? So I may ask a specific question, such as how I would do on a new moon, new moon or half moon reading, and you guys will get a glimpse of that once I start doing them on the channel. But I would ask, what is the energy needed for this time? What do we need to know about the energy right now under this half moon and so sign? Now, and then based off of that, I'll keep asking that question, and then the messages will come from the cards. And based off that message, based off of the symbols and the signs and what the messages say, the numbers, what I see, the symbols within it, I begin to read the energy of the cards and tell you what the cards are communicating to me intuitively. Okay, when we're talking about divination tools, we're connecting with the divine, the sacred that is within us, and the sacred that exists all around us. Okay, and again, in order to discover a deeper understanding of the energy of now, of the past, or of what's to come. Okay, now I think one of the biggest aspects to think about is, as we talk about divination tools, and what are some of those, right? Outside of oracle, outside of tarot, you know, that might be Ouija boards. You guys heard of Ouija boards, right? You ask a question and it gives you an answer. You know, and again, I want to say this before I continue. These are Aboriginal practices. There's nothing new under the sun. This isn't something new. Even a lot of the things that we're starting to be more revealed to us, such as yoga, such as the power of breath, such as trauma impacts, such as meditation, such as our own spiritual connection. Like, all of these were something that people before us, the ancients before us, our ancestors before us knew. They practiced these things. They put spiritual practice into places. They use these techniques in order to connect, in order to deeper discover, you know, the parts that they didn't understand, the parts they were trying to understand. You know, there's so much that we don't see that meets the eye. There's so much more to even what I share. There's so much out there, and we're all just learning together. And the tools were one of the ways to connect. And again, begin to intuitively understand what was going on during that time, during the past, or during the future. So again, these are not new techniques. These are ancient, indigenous, aboriginal techniques that are being utilized, again, just being remembered. Really, they're just being remembered and reclaimed. So when we're talking about other type of divination tools, Ouija boards, oracle, tarot readings. You can also say astrology, right? Because astrology is what? Astrology is looking at the planets, the suns, the moon, all of these placements in order to connect and discover your energy, right? The past, the present, your personality. That's what astrology is used for. It's really energy. It's understanding your whole energetic makeup and how all of the planets and stars and the signs and all of that play a role in who you energetically are made up to be, personality wise or just energetic wise, right? Okay, so astrology is a divination tool. Numerology, palmistry, right? Being able to read the palm and seeing what the palm is telling you, what's coming, what's the energy now, what's the future hold, what was the past. So all of these, again, are divination tools that people use in order to connect with each other, in order to connect to the energy, and in order to deeper discover the energy of the past, of the present, or of what's to come. Okay, so that's really what divination tools are. Now, what do you, when you're talking about, you know, using sacred tools, divination tools, in order to connect and discover deeper parts in the energy of now, what does that look like? Do you just, you know, grab some cards and kind of just, no, I think there's a method and an understanding that has to take place before you're in a space to, and I think we're all in different spaces. So, you know, I'm just sharing through my own personal journey. For me, it's understanding observation, right? So if I'm doing a reading, or I'm using anything to connect to, you know, my own divine self and that divine that lives all around me, in order to deeper understand the energy of whether it's now, the past, or what's to come, or I have a question to ask, that I remember the importance of observation and having an open mind and being mindful. So I'm having an open mind because I want to be able to receive the message. I don't want to close off anything because of my limited thinking, or me having this idea of what the expectation of what should be shown and what shouldn't be shown. I want to have an open mind so that way I'm receiving everything. But in the same aspect, with receiving so much, I want to be able to be mindful in what I'm sharing, be mindful in what I'm seeing, be mindful in what is meant for me to draw out of the message, and not just because I'm open-minded, take it all, and then I'm just going to have a whole bunch of chaos, but creating structure by being mindful within that. So I'm open-minded, but at the same time mindful when you're doing readings, okay? And in the part of that process, that allows you, one, to be able to just see the message with clarity. When you're open-minded and you're mindful, you begin to see the message with clarity. You can be able to receive the messages and connect with source, connect with that sacred energy, connect with spirit, in order to understand what is being perceived in front of you with clarity, okay? So The first step is you want to be observing, you want to be open-minded, and you want to be mindful. So again, those messages can come through you clearly, and you're not closing off messages that are trying to communicate with you but can't reach you because, again, you're having expectations of this or that. Just know that this experience using Divinity Tools, it just is. Okay, don't come into it looking, just come into it with intentions of the heart and the question or what you want to know. Be open to what falls in front of you, but at the same time, be mindful. Okay, and I know it's like, well, that's a lot, but at the same time, you want to be mindful again, right? You don't want it to be chaotic. You want it to have a frame, to have structure. So you have to be mindful so that the message again comes through with clarity, and you're able to share it with clarity and share it with other understanding. Another part of that is also being able to accept the message. So if you know what the message is coming to you and it's loud, just because you might not like what the message is doesn't mean you don't share it. You accept the real, you trust the message, and know that it's meant to be seen. It's meant to be shared for your highest good and for the highest good of all of those involved. So you have to trust. You have to trust as well the message that is being shared to you. And the next step to that, and you have to trust yourself, which is the intuitive part. So when you're doing readings, you have to trust your intuition, okay? Your intuition is what's going to guide you. It's going to help you see the messages beyond the messages. It's going to help you be in tune with what is being shared with you and what is needed to communicate and what is being communicated through those signs, through those symbols, okay? So you want to be in tune with your intuition. Now, I think that when we talk about intuition, we're all at different levels of being intuitive. We all have intuitiveness. We all know when something doesn't feel right, when we should leave, when something isn't right within certain situations, within ourselves. We always have like this intuitiveness that comes up. And the way that our intuition gets stronger is when we begin to honor that intuitiveness. When we feel something happening inside of us and it's our intuition and we trust it and we follow it. And then it ends up confirming that we followed the right steps. We followed our feelings. We followed our intuition, not blindly, right? We didn't do it blindly, but we trusted that it was taking us somewhere. And in that process of believing and trusting your intuition, you make it stronger. And then you begin to, as you make it stronger and stronger, the clarity comes through. The message, your intuition is louder. You're just more in tune with yourself, therefore making you more in tune with all around you. Okay, so intuition is very important, but if you're not honoring it, if you're not using it, you lose it. Okay, so you have to use it. You have to honor it when it comes up so it gets strong. It's like muscles, right? You can't just go to the gym once and then be like, oh, I'm strong. No, you got to keep working at it. You got to keep building that up. You have to keep trusting the process, keep following the steps. And over time, you'll get stronger. The same thing applies to your intuition. Now, we want to look at the other side of it. The same thing can happen when we're talking about intuition and you're not honoring your intuition. You weaken it because now you don't know what to trust. You don't know when your intuition is there to help you, when it's not. Is it my intuition? Is it something else? And you start to get you start to quiet down and weaken your intuitive voice, that feeling, that gut feeling. So the follow through, the trusting it, the actual really, that's it. Just the trusting of the process and the belief in your gut and following your gut is what strengthens it. Okay, so intuition is a very important part of reading, of any type of divination tool. Is trusting the messages, trusting your gut feeling, trusting your intuition, and honoring it, accepting it, so that you can again share that message with clarity and with integrity. And the last thing is being able to read beyond the symbols and the signs, right? You can't just have, like, for example, you can't just have, if we were to take something such as, let's just take how about this? Let me guess a minute. So the last part is signs. Okay, so what we want to think about is let's just give it a little shake. Give it a little shake. Okay, give it a little shake. Boom, perfect. The Magician. Okay, so if you want to look at this card and just say this card popped out, which it did, you want to be able to look at this card and be able to see with clarity, what is this card saying? Now you could just simple. Oh, the magician, he has the power to create and manifest the life he wants for himself. You know, this is a very powerful card telling you that right now you're the creator of your life. You're creating everything with the words you speak, with the actions you take, with the thoughts that you have. That's all creating. You're the magician right now. You can leave it at that. Now you could take it to the next level and talk about how the magician not only creates, but understanding that with the infinity sign over its head, that it is tapping into infinite. There's limitless amount of opportunities, limitless amount of creation that is coming through. When we're looking at the yellow behind it, we're taking in the willpower. Right? So this is about also your will. This is about your creativity. This is about being able to utilize the gifts that you have. Right? Knowing that you already have it because you are the magician. Now we could take this to another level, right? And talk about the 5-pointed star that is there. And we could talk about that and talk about, you know, on some levels, a 5-pointed star represents all of the elements, including the spirit and the ether. So, you know, saying how right now you have the power of all elements at your hand in order to create and manifest anything that you want. Like we could literally keep unfolding this and keep unfolding this. We could look at how one hand is up in the sky as if he is showing his as above or so below. You know, there's so many ways that this card can be interpreted. But again, you have to be able to read beyond the symbols and the sign. You have to understand why this card came out and the flow that it came out and what is it interpreting to the collective or to the individual or to yourself as you're doing the reading. Okay, and I think this is all of this is, it takes time, it takes practice. Anything takes practice. Nothing comes overnight. Nothing comes in the snap of the fingers. Okay, that's why at the end of all of my videos, I say, practice what I'm saying, put it into application, see how it works for you. That's a part of the learning process. And that's how you get stronger in it, just like honoring your intuition, following your intuition, applying. Like that's how things get stronger when you practice, when you put it into place and you begin to make it a ritual. Okay, so those are the 3 components when it comes to using divination tool. You want to be observant, you want to be mindful, and you want to be open-minded. Okay, so you can receive the messages with clarity, and so that you can also be able to understand that, you know, what the message is saying and accept what the message is saying and not try to get it to fit your mold of what you want it to be. Okay, so it's important to be open-minded. It's important to be mindful so that you're the clear channel, a channel of clarity, not judging, not having expectations, just being there again with an open heart and open mind in the question, and trusting that what is being given to you is needed to be given to you, and accepting it and unfolding it and reading beyond the messages. Okay, so the next part would be the message pieces, seeing beyond the symbols, seeing beyond the signs, seeing behind those things that you're interpreting. What is it really saying? What does it really mean, either for this individual, for you, or for the collective, depending on, again, what are you doing. Right now we're talking about doing tarot and oracle reading, but as I mentioned, there's various tools of divination. Okay, and then the last thing is honoring and trusting your intuition. Honoring and trusting your intuition. Okay, we are already naturally connected. We are not separate from the divine. We are not separate from sacred. We are that. That's why this is naturally sacred. We are that. Okay, so when we trust our intuition, we're able to hear the messages again with clarity and know what is needed to be shared. And we have, again, we just begin to flow because we trust our intuition and we honor our intuition. So being intuitive, being in tune with your intuition is very important when you're utilizing divination tools. Okay, so I think that is really what I wanted to talk about as far as divination tools. Again, didn't want to make this a long video. I wanted to make it super short, but I wanted to share this with you guys so that you understand as I'm coming on here and I'm talking more about, you know, divination tools, and we're doing readings and we're getting more into the spiritual aspect, because this is not going to be the first video about something along with my own idea of what spirituality is. And I kind of set it up because I wanted you guys to see the scenery of when we do readings. Where are we going to be at? You know, what is the vibe going to be? And this is going to be the vibe. We're in the same room, just a different area of the room. And yes, so the environment, the setup, the reading, all of that is a very important role as well. And, you know, connecting to your divine source, connecting to the divineness around you, and doing any type of divination work is the environment, your own internal environment and the environment that you're around. You want to make sure it's clean. You want to make sure it's balanced, it's harmony within the space, it's clear of negative energy, you're in tune, you're in a balanced space, you're peaceful, you're mindful. You want to make sure you're in a good space so that, again, you're receiving everything with clarity and you're connected and you're in tune. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in, for staying with me, for watching this. I will be coming with another video in regards to herbal infusions, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, tomorrow is Wellness Wednesday, so I'm coming with a Wellness Wednesday video. And tomorrow we are talking about pranayama. We are talking about breath control, breath mastery, life force. We're going to get into that a little bit and connect it to the physiological makeup of ourselves. So with that being said, I just wanted to share this with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Now that I've shared it, I will be coming in with the videos on every new moon and every half moon. If you are interested in what I'm calling sacred selections, which is where I will do 3 piles based off of those 3 piles, 3 to 5 piles. Based off of those 3 to 5 piles, you pick 1 pile as your selection that connects with you, and then I will share with you what you need to know in regards to that pile. If you're interested in me doing that, let me know. Sacred selections, maybe sacred selection Saturdays. Maybe we'll do it on Saturdays. Look, we're building right now together, even though I'm talking to myself. So I think maybe that's it. Sacred, but yeah, that sounds good. Sacred selection Saturdays. Okay, so yes, that's what we'll be doing, and I'll share more on that when I go into the reading for the half moon this week. So thank you guys again for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. I will catch you in my next video. Peace, beautiful beings.